I'm here with Frank. We've just witnessed Arsenal draw with Chelsea. Now, a lot of people going into this game was regarding it as a must-win for Arsenal. And I know you were one of those that thought so.
Yep.
Got to ask you then, it's a draw. How satisfied or not are you with the result?
It's a weird one still. I said it before the game, and I'm going to repeat it here. Mixed emotions. I came into the game not really knowing what to expect. Obviously, we're a team that's not in fantastic form at the moment. Chelsea are obviously they're a lot better than they have been in recent years under Maresca, but it's still a Chelsea side where you don't really know what's going to turn up. In terms of the performance itself, I think we're definitely improving. It feels kind of similar to the game against Inter Milan in the sense that I think the performance was decent, but we didn't get the result we wanted. I think that's kind of reflected in today's game, but obviously
we did lose to Milan. We didn't.
I know we lost to Milan. I know we not. But my point I'm trying to make is the performance itself, not too bad, but it's still not quite the win that you want from a performance like that. So that's the only thing I can say. I think, I don't think anyone had necessarily a stinker today. I think that everyone can kind of, hold their heads high in some sense. I think maybe the one person I can be slightly critical of is maybe Ben White, got that silly little booking for, silliness, essentially.
That was for Ben White, basically being Ben White.
No, exactly, for Ben White being Ben White. And, he's got to cut that out of his game because it's only a matter of time before he gets sent off because he's getting a second yellow and the first yellow or the second yellow is for something silly. So he's got to cut that out. Apart from that, Neto, had him on toast a few times in the game as well. But apart from that, I think pretty much everyone can hold their heads high.
Right, okay, so Martin Odegaard, first game back for a long time now since he got injured on that international break playing for Norway. How do you think he did today?
I think he played really well. You can see immediately that we've really missed his creativity, and I think Bav used the word on the watch along, the braveness, the bravery of Martin Odegaard, and I think that really reflected today. You could see immediately the midfield three started linking up a lot better. We was creating a lot more chances. Obviously, we couldn't finish them all today, unfortunately, but it's great to see him back. I think he really is the missing piece of the puzzle. Obviously, I don't think he had a good game. But obviously, he's not had a lot of minutes going into the game. So for someone that's not played for 12, 13 games, whatever it's been, I think he had a really good game.
Yeah, I would agree. And you mentioned the creativity, and that was evidenced with that lovely ball across the goal that led to Arsenal getting that first goal. Are you a little bit disappointed then, having scored first, that we didn't go on to win the game?
Yeah, I am. And this is why, like I said, mixed emotions, because I'm quite happy with the performance. But at the same time, I can't help but feel it's a missed opportunity, given the fact that Manchester City lost again and we were still 4 points behind them. People say, Liverpool, we need to think about Liverpool in this as well. Again, and I understand that, yes, we're 9 points behind Liverpool, but Liverpool, and I have to give credit to Liverpool under Slot, they've had an amazing run to start off the season. But I think, you like saying it a lot, history repeats itself, and we've got to look at the facts, as the famous Liverpool manager Rafa Benitez would say. I think it's only a matter of time before Liverpool start to drop off. I'm not necessarily concerned about them. They're pretty well known to not strengthen that much in January, so that's why I feel that they will start to drop off. And I still think you can't rule out Manchester City, despite them being, I think, 5 or 6 points behind Liverpool now. I think Manchester City are the ones that we've still got to keep our eye on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So you've segued nicely into what I was going to ask you. So we're going into this international break, 11 games played.
Another one.
Another one.
Why'd you remind me, man?
Yeah. So as it stands, with the draw, we are, 9 points behind Liverpool?
Yep.
We're in 4th place. How are you feeling about our chances in terms of winning titles? Do you think it's severely damaged, or do you think there's a way back?
Well, with the recent run of form, we've certainly made it hard for ourselves. I think there's no debating that it's going to be a challenge. But you know me, I'm a very positive person. Like you said, there's 27 games to go. There's how many points is that? That's 60.
I think it's 81.
81.
Check me on that, but it could be.
I think
it's 81.
The point is, there's still a lot of points to be played for. So there's a long way to go, I think, for us to say that we're out of the title challenge in November. And this is early November as well. This is before any sort of run-in. This is I think that's criminal to say that. So I think, give us our time. The form will come. We're not out of the title challenge yet. Absolutely not.
No, I would agree with that. I think a lot of people writing Arsenal off. I think it's a bit premature. I said that on the stream. I'm glad you agree with me. But in terms of moving forward then, after the international break, is there any changes that you'd like to see the manager make to the team? Any players that are not getting minutes now that you'd like to see come in? Or do you think you're fairly happy with where the manager's selected the team, etc.?
It's a really weird one because, today we had what I would consider to be our strongest starting 11. Obviously, I think a lot of people would put Marino in place of Thomas Partey, but for me, Thomas Partey has been one of our best players this season, and I think the jury's still out on Mikel Merino. He's not played that much football. Obviously, got injured immediately after coming into the club, so we'll see what Marino can offer in this Arsenal team. But apart from that, I don't really know what more he could change. Maybe, Ben White's not having an amazing time at the moment. Maybe we see some sort of change in the sense that Jurriën Timber goes out to left back when Ricardo Calafiori's available. We put him Timber out to right back, Calafiori out to left back. That's really the only kind of change that I can see happening at the moment. Apart from that, if we have this team available that we played today, this is what needs to start. Absolutely.
Okay, so you're happy with the starting 11. What do you say to those people? In fact, I'd include myself in those people, actually, that says there needs to be more rotation of the squad.
It's a fair point, but we're in a title challenge. When you're in a title challenge, you need to be playing your best players wherever you can. The rotation, maybe that can come in the Champions League when we've got the nothing games. Obviously, if we get ourselves in a position,
nothing games.
No, let me land. Obviously, it's a new format. There's 8 games. If we get to the point where we've played 5-6 games and we've already qualified, that's when you can start to see the rotation and players trying to play for a starting 11 squad. Or if we get a favourable draw in the FA Cup, for example, we go and play a Rotherham or something like that. That's when you can see the rotation. But you're in a title race. When your best team is available, you need to play that best team, full stop.
Right, yep. Okay. Positives in terms of Arsenal players that played well today. Who would you give a mention to?
I'm going to go straight for it with my man of the match, Thomas Partey. I think Thomas Partey was immense today, and he's absolutely a player who at the start of the season, I'd probably say about that first 3 or 4 games, I had a lot of criticism for. I didn't think he was fantastic at the start of the season, but since then, and I think mainly since Mikel Merino's come in, he's really had to prove a point and show that he's still of the ability to be playing in this Arsenal side. And my God, has he really shown that. I think another honourable mention today, the likes of William Saliba, who obviously apart from the goal, which I don't think we could have done anything about, it was just simply a fantastic strike from Neto. And on top of that, David Raya, I think from minute 1, when he had that save from Cole Palmer, had a really good game today. So again, a lot of performances to be proud of, and the players can hold their heads high.
Happy for Martinelli. I know you're a big fan of his. He got a goal today. Did a lot of work off the ball, chasing back and stuff. Pleased to see him get on the score sheet.
I really am. And obviously that does a world of good for his confidence. But I think the problem that we've got with Martinelli at the moment, he's done this, but it might be 3 or 4 games before we can see him score another goal. And I think that's the kind of criticism that we had for the likes of Theo Walcott in the past and seeing things like that. So I think we run the risk, or Gabriel Martinelli runs the risk, if we don't continue to see that same consistency and, goals, getting more goals and, contributing more in the final third, then there's going to be more questions asked to Gabriel Martinelli.